Thank you so much for joining in today, late at night on a Friday. Let's see if we can get some people on the live feed. I'm testing the new microphone. So I hope that we can get some people on Instagram. I told you on Instagram that I was going to go live, and I am live in Instagram, and also I am live at Facebook and also in YouTube. So thank you so much for joining in. How's everybody doing? Oscar Blue right here for Border Negro News, correspondent for Real America's Voice News and the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Thank you so much for joining in. Share the video on Facebook. Give it a like on from Facebook. Hit that bell button on YouTube, and also hit that like button on Instagram, and share the video on Instagram. If you guys can help me out to share the video on Instagram, and please, try to help me out sharing the video. A lot of you guys ask me consistently, what is the whole deal, Oscar? How can I help? And I say consistently, if you, CC Terman in Instagram, Oscar, I would love to share a big event coming up regarding the border. Can you message me later? Absolutely. Miss Ceci Truman, absolutely I can. Uh, Hopefully, if it's not late, I can message you. And absolutely, yes. So thank you so much, everybody that is joining in live on Facebook. Hit that like button on Facebook. Hit that bell button on YouTube. I'm testing the microphone, and hopefully, how is the audio in YouTube, and how is the audio on Facebook? First of all, how is the audio on those two platforms? Those are the platforms that I'm going live right now. So I'm with the microphone. So I want to ask, first and foremost, uh, how is the audio? Good evening, Oscar. Richard Henry, how you doing? Brother, continuous fine here, fine here. Everybody saying fine. Also, we got a comment right here. Hi, brother. God continuous blessing over you and your household. Thank you so much. Also, how's Oscar? I would love to share. Okay, we are live on Instagram. So I will look at your questions on Instagram, and I will look also at your questions at Facebook and also on YouTube. Thank you so much. Everybody, share this video out. Buy me a coffee. I don't have the link right now. If you guys like to contribute to our independent reporting and travel fund, buy me a coffee. It is on the top link. What is going on? I did a couple of interviews today, and I was live with Mr. Steve Bannon, who was, God bless him. See if everything is going to be okay. He has a heart of a lion. I am not going to get into that, but we had a great live feed. We had almost on that particular hit, he was live, and he had almost like 20,000 people, and it was amazing to be with him after the harassment that he has gone through by the left and whoever is supporting everything that is against these people that they're fighting for true patriotism and ultimately constitution and law and order. It is a leftist, and it is a communist leftist. It's just simple as that. But just to head on to other topics that they are extremely important for us to discuss. Number one, the exodus, and this is an exodus of people from Venezuela. This is an exodus. It is not going to be described as nothing else. And sadly, it's an exodus. And I will tell you why, and I will try to explain you why. As today, I was live with one of the biggest platforms that there is in Latin America, in the United States of America of Latinos. It is called EBTV Noticias. It has 1.7 million followers on Instagram. It has almost close to 1 million followers at YouTube. And today in the morning, I did a hit with them. I did a coverage with them, live from the campsite, and ultimately it was an explanation of me of saying this is inhumane. You cannot be treating people like this. The only one to advance, and if you want, the United States wants to give them an entry, is the United States. It is not Mexico's obligation to do and to torture people. And if Mexico wants to do something, Mexico should put not a barrier, a process where they are consistently filtering people and letting know who is eligible for a legitimate case for asylum or who is not eligible for a legitimate case of asylum. This is complete torture, and I will tell you why. You cannot put people to migrate and put people at risk on an open border policy that is created only by leftist governments and by globalists and elitists. This is all created by leftist governments and also by elitists and ultimately, not only that, by globalists. The global compact on migration that we talked about so much, it is the number one root of the problem for people to migrate in this fashion and ultimately to not know their process, to not know their process. And this is, the problem that you don't have a complete education on how a process needs to be. Somebody's requesting to be on the live video with me on Instagram. I am not accepting that. I don't. It's a pleasure to meet you. All the glory, but I cannot accept that. I'm sorry, but I apologize for that. So it is just, you know, it's just economical displaced migrants. It is what it is coming now. And it is because their own government and under also corporations that they're globalists, they have destroyed completely the economy of another third world class countries. That these corporations are taking advantage of making 3 to 4,000% of the cheap man labor in Latin America. But you cannot destroy, and you cannot be destroying sovereignty. You cannot be doing that. There's a law, and as I said to multiple migrants as I have talked to, there is a law and there's immigration law. If in Mexico they're telling you that the process it is to wait 2 months, you have to wait for 2 months. You're telling me that in Costa Rica, Honduras, they let you pass, and in Panama they let you pass. That's those countries. This is Mexico. But I don't understand why Mexico is not letting us pass. That is Mexico's law. That tells you that Mexico it is a big bottleneck not only for the process, but it's a big bottleneck that the other countries they're swiping their hands, they're cleaning their hands, and they're saying, drop it into Mexico. Let Mexico solve this humongous problem. Let Mexico solve this humongous problem. The president of Panama, he's not doing anything. He's letting migrants go through, and ultimately the president of Colombia is not doing anything. They go through a jungle and they risk their lives, and a lot of people have died. They're not doing anything. They're funneling people. Ultimately, the people from Honduras, they're not doing anything. Only, the people from Nicaragua are not doing anything. The border of Nicaragua, Guatemala, they're not doing anything. So they throw the problem to who? They throw the problem to Mexico. And now the United States says, why you're not doing anything, Mexico, when you know where the problem is generating from. This problem will be resolved if their economical infrastructure on these countries will be good. If the security infrastructure on these countries will be good. If the educational system on these countries will be good. If the health system in these educational countries will be good. If you had these possibilities on these countries to be good, you will not have people migrate for jobs, for a better economical life, and ultimately for security. So, this is the problem. This is the problem. These global corporations that they are making 3,000% out of the cheap man labor. Let's say a product that is sold in the United States for $5, and the labor in the United States it is $12 to $15 an hour. The cost of living is more expensive. I understand that, but ultimately you're selling the product at the same price that you're selling the product in countries like Central America and South America, but you're paying 3,000 times less. So where is the fairness to the people that they want to enjoy also? Not only the economy, but the capitalists of external and foreign companies that they want to come and they want to basically profit out of the international economy of other Latin American countries. So when you're creating jobs with these economical countries, the economical corporations that they're coming over here and they're importing or exporting their product, you better have a better economy for all these people. Because if you're not going to you're creating jobs where you're creating just basic slave jobs. You're giving them a poor salary. This evolves with fair capitalism. As a lot of people have said, the people in the middle class and the lower class are the ones that they're suffering more because you have a massive influx and now you have to create jobs for other people that they have. There are massive influx coming in. And it is just a non-stop effect. It is a train of problems that is coming because in their countries, the economical infrastructure, it is so bad. The security system, it is so bad. The health system is so bad. They don't have no other option but to come. And then you have the incentivization of Joseph Biden that says, you know what, it's open, come over. It is not the fault of a lot of people that they're coming over. The incentivization of this man and they're in the leftist Democrats that they're saying that the border is closed, that it's the fault of the Republicans. It's the fault of the Republicans that they are saying that the border is open. This is what the Democrats are saying. Look how incompetent this sounds. Look how incompetent this sounds. They're saying it is because the Republicans are saying that the border is open. It is because of that that migrants are coming. How stupid is that? Holy cow. For God's sake, please, pretty much, what the hell? Let's just blame it on somebody else. Let's just give the fault on somebody else. And now you stand in front of the audience like this woman in the White House, this public speaker, House speaker, and say the border is closed. Holy crap. Where do you get these ideas? Where do you have the highest number possibly in history of migrants sadly dying in the desert of the Del Rio sector, of Eagle Pass sector. They're sadly dying between the quantities of 3 to 7 to 10 inside of the United States of America. You have a whole operandi now of the organized crime inside of the country of the United States of America, and they're not being stopped. There's a lot of infiltrated individuals. Where are legitimate cases of asylum? Where are the legitimate cases of asylum? Imagine a family. I'm not pandering, I'm just saying this is a reality. Imagine a family that has a legitimate case of asylum. And if you have a legitimate case of asylum, you're walking with somebody that you don't even know who it is. Second of all, you're walking with somebody that possibly is an infiltrated individual that is not even a legitimate case of asylum. And ultimately, this individual possibly is something else that he has a bad record on his territory, and we don't know. There's no filter. And every migrant that I have asked, they have said to me, honestly, do you believe in immigration processes? And do you believe that there needs to be a filter? And all of the ones that they understand how the mass migration that is being handled, all of them they're saying we need a filter. Colombia needs a filter, Panama needs a filter, everybody needs a filter. Everybody needs a filter. And its filter is not being done. A filter, it is not being done. That is sadly what is happening. And you know what? They're saying, oh, you know what? A filter is not being done. A lot of the United States citizens, they're complaining in Mexico. Why are they not checking who it is? Why they're not doing this? Why they're not doing that? Hold on a minute. The, you know, the administration, the Biden administration, it is doing that also. You're not having a filter. You're not having a list of registration. What are you talking about? You're complaining about what other countries are doing, but your own administration it is doing exactly the same. Your own administration it is doing exactly the same. What are you complaining about? You're saying, oh, Mexico's not doing their job. You're saying, oh, and Mexico's also not doing their job. Mexico's this. Biden administration it is doing, uh, you know, it is doing a horrible job. And they are the ones that they are not doing no filters, no nothing whatsoever. So it is important and it's so imperative that we understand that this has a root of a problem. The root of a problem ultimately also evolves in what decisions the United States takes. what decisions the United States is going to take. And if the United States is going to say there's a process, for God's sake, you know, do a process. If the United States is not going to say there's no process, well, it's going to be a disastrous migration like it is right now. Everybody migrating to non-port of entries, you know, traffickers dropping kids on the other side of the wall, kids crossing the river, and not a lot of the kids, have drowned with their parents. Sadly, they have drowned. Also, you have the situation not only with that, but also you have situation with, on the other side of the border with Mexico, where migrants are being kidnapped, and ultimately, after they are being kidnapped, they are being held hostage for them to get. So you're incentivizing the organized crime practically. Q&A. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much. I'm live in the south of the border. Uh, been live since Monday over here. Been working for you guys since Monday. Real America Sports News, the best network there it is on good border coverage. It is the best network that it is in border coverage. Our colleague Ben Bergquam doing a magnificent job. And also with my partner, Real Anthony Agüero, also doing a magnificent job. I'm doing my part over here, also in south of the border in Mexico. Aaron Cabello is doing his part. Also on the part of Acuña, on the part of Tierra Negras Coahuila, and all those parts, doing a magnificent job. On numbers, there's nobody better than Todd Bensman. My God, the guy has his numbers on top of his game, man. The guy is so smart. Todd Bensman, follow him. And also Michael Young. Who in the hell doesn't know Michael Young? He's a true warrior. The guy knows his stuff. He's all over the world. He's a war journalist. He's a war correspondent, and he's a guy that I look up to a lot. It's a guy that I look up to. Also, another guy that I look up to a lot. It is Fox correspondent Griff Jenkins. He's like my professor on a lot of things. I listen to him a lot. So follow all those people. But Real America's Voice News doing a wonderful job. Quick shout out to Wendy Bell Radio Network. Wendy Bell Radio Network. Download the app at the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Also app. You can download the app. It is free, so go and download it as soon as you can. It is free. One of the outlets that is really informative for every single one of you. So thank you so much for joining in. I'm using this mic. Hopefully the mic sounds good. I think that the mic sounds really good and it's taking a lot of the sound. And I'm not even talking that loud. So I believe that this is really good. I like this mic. Also, the mic that I have, the other one, it is just portable. So I wear that when I'm walking with the caravan a lot. Why? Because, it's just much easier when you're walking like that. So thank you for joining in. I will not accept denigrating comments and disrespectful comments. I will not accept those comments. Come on, man. Let's be honest. Let's resolve this problem. It is a humanitarian crisis that is created by leftist globalists, and they're using people as their currency right now. Migrants are a currency right now for this global problem. Global problem. So, thank you, and thank you. These are the people that I trust with information at the border. Ben Bergquam, Real Anthony Agüero, Aaron Cabello on the United States side. These are the people. Ben Bergquam has been working on the border for 5 years. Anthony has been working at the border for 5 years. I'm going straight 4 years and plus. We have been working on this for quite some time, and we know now how this is mishandled and how this global compact on migration, how not only that, the global compact on migration, but ultimately other things that they're affecting, that they are and also in other, that there are a trickle effect that they affect directly countries like Mexico. And also I was in Guatemala. You guys remember what happened to me over there. So it is so important for us to know which outlets, how we can follow. So buy me a coffee. It's on the top link. Thank you so much for all your support. Having a tough week. And we're going to have another tougher week, but we're going to try to do our best to pull it over. And also, thanks so much. It's on the bottom link. It's on the top link. And thank you. Buy me coffee is right there. Appreciate your contributions and help. I will accept your questions, and also I will say thank you to the people that they are, dropping, the contributions. And also, if you want to become a supporter, you can go right now and become a subscriber. I think so at Facebook. I don't know if you can become or not, but let's go. I will accept your comments. I will accept questions. I'm gonna blast them off right here on the screen on Facebook and YouTube. Sadly, I cannot do that on Instagram. Instagram keeps pushing people out of the live feed. I see small, like 10 people on my live feed on Instagram, but I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm going live on Instagram to talk to you guys. And if you guys want to talk, there you go. If you guys want to ask a question, there you go. Make the questions simple, make the questions concrete, make the questions small so I can read them and I can put them on the screen, and I will not take away that much time for me to continue and also for me to give you guys a thank you, and thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you so much, and thank you for the coffees. Do most people have family here? Do they have real palms on how or where they will live? This is Stila Fustillos. Yeah, yes, they have. The majority of them, they already have a place to go. The majority of them, they already have a place that they are going and a place that they are going to land. And ultimately, a lot of them, as they're migrating, their economical support, it is their families in the United States of America who they are sending money for them to continue. Karen, thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you so much, Miss Karen. Thank you so much. So, yes, they have already an address that they're going to be received. Why? Because it's one of the requirements when they cross the border asking for asylum and refugee. It is one of the requirements. Where are you going to live and where you're going to stay? So that is one of the requirements. Hope that that I answered your question. There we go. Take away that question off. I will answer your questions. There's questions and also Ricky. Thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless. Thank you, thank you. Buy me a coffee is right there. Thank you. Instagram. If you guys want to ask a question, also this. Let's see this question right here. Have you heard about the people on the boat you showed earlier? Are they okay? No, I haven't received no information whatsoever regarding what is happening. I haven't had time to read about that. I only saw the video. Really, really dramatic video on the boat. These how people are running away from their countries and they are screaming, not even for refugee and asylum, they're screaming for help. So that is really sad that you're seeing people migrate in these kind of conditions in these kind of circumstances and in this particular time and fashion. It's sad to see that. You don't want people to risking their lives. And also the most dangerous place to migrate is through the Mediterranean Sea, landing on the island of Lampedusa in Italy. That is one of the most dangerous places for people to migrate through the sea. But now you're seeing that they are arriving on boats, and we have talked about this in the past that migrants were going to use another route to make it much easier in their arrival to skip all the coyotes and traffickers and to just prevent dangers walking. So that is one of the other options. Hope that I answer your question. Let's see right here. Uh, are their address verified? If so, why are they in the streets and in homeless shelters? A lot of them, they give them a tracking phone, which that is their tracking device when they go to their location. And yes, it is verified by the Department of Homeland Security. Alejandro Mayorkas, your head chief of your Department of Homeland Security, was the one that put this strategy to put an ankle bracelet on some of them. It was before. Now they give them a phone, and the phone consistently they need to check, and that has a GPS, which it gives them the ability to know where they are and know where they're located. And if they're in shelters, it is because they are waiting on the process to be delivered to their families. And they don't have money, so they can transport themselves into those particular places. So that is one of the reasons why. Uh, Are American groups, organizations allowed to protest at the border where migrants are illegally crossing? Well, I don't have the authority to say that because I don't know. But I have seen NGOs do exactly the same, that they have gone to the limitations between Mexico and the United States, but that will only incentivize animosity between, the authorities. Remember that the one that it carries the authority in the United States, for me, in my eyes and in my mind, it is the United States Border Patrol. They're the ones that are responsible for the border and for the law and border in your border limits. So, you can exercise your right, do whatever you can, but you cannot act as a police officer. You cannot act as a border agent. That is not your responsibility. You have an authority that it is doing that, and by you doing that, you will be infringing and on the law. So let the authorities be the authorities. It's another question right here. Uh, it's a lot of questions. Let me just, I think I flipped a couple of ones. Really interesting question. Why is the American dream about to the world coming to the US of A? Well, the American dream has been decreased now. It was a huge accomplishment before. Now it's just it's really different. But the American dream, everybody wants to achieve the American dream, but that country, it's being destroyed by leftists and by communism, by globalists. Is being destroyed right now, that country. And it is. And remember what Abraham Lincoln said: that country, that whenever the enemy, the United States is going to be destroyed by within, not by outsiders. And that is what is actually is maintaining that. That is what is actually is happening right now. You have these Congress people that they're actually destroying consistently the entire economy of the United States of America. The inflation, the gasoline, the most the most important product, that is milk. You know, what is more basic to eat, it is really expensive. So it is not about now the American dream. I think it is about an outlet that they made us believe in Latin America, that the United States, it is the land of the dreams to come true. But ultimately, it has a process, and we need to have a process for everything. There needs to be a documented process. There needs to be peace when you're migrating, and there needs to be correctness when you're doing it. Who maintains the trash that the caravan leaves behind? The population, and also the population, and also the municipal police and the municipal authorities are the ones that they take that responsibility. And also some migrants, they have a community, they pick the trash up, they leave a lot of trash, but they pick it up. Some of the groups, not all of the groups are the same. Some of the groups, they pick the trash up, and they clean it up. There's a question on Instagram. Let me just go right here. Uh, it says Ash Moyer 23. Are any authorities going against the administration and trying to save this country? What country? I'm in Mexico, and I'm close to Guatemala. So which country are you referring to, and what authorities are you referring to? Oscar, do the governments of Mexico and Central America nations support you as a reporter in terms of safety and freedom? Do your job to do your job, or are they abrasive? I try to do my job whether they support me or not. My job is to bring the reality and truth of the news, whether whatever government supports me or not, or whether whatever country supports me or not. I'm an impartial journalist. I'm an objective journalist. Try to be as much as objective as I can. Stay in the middle. Say good. If they're doing good things, good things. If they're doing bad things, bad things. If a Republican is doing bad things, I will call the Republican out. And I have said this before. And people got really upset the other day. Some of them, they got some a small fraction got upset when I was criticizing Greg Abbott. They got upset For God's sake, why you're getting upset? I'm saying the truth. The guy is just 3 months before election. Now he wants to do something. Also, they were getting upset because I was criticizing Governor Ducey. So, Governor Ducey, what he has done with Arizona. Tell me what he has done, and he's a Republican, and a lot of people get upset. So I'm always staying in the middle, staying in the middle to be impartial, ultimately to not create animosity. And this is the most important thing, that when you stay in the middle, you just stay in the middle, give information, and that is your job as a reporter, as a journalist. Your job is to give information. So I stay right there, and whether they like it or not, that is what it is. So whether a government supports me, whether a country supports me, I'm really appreciative of the United States, my country. Also, a lot of people in my country follow me. Thank you so much for all your support. God bless your dear hearts. But if the governments don't or do, I'm here for saying the reality of the news, as I always said. I don't care if your feelings get hurt. I don't care if you get upset with me. I really do not care. I'm here to give the reality and truth of the news. Stop with the pandering. And if you need pandering, go to a network that will pander you to make you feel comfortable. I am not here to comfort. I'm here to give news. That is my whole objective. I'm here to give news. Saludos, mi queridísimo Don Roy. Saludos. Un abrazo. I'm still answering the questions in Miss Jerry, thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless your dear heart. Thank you so much. Do the migrants understand how they are contributing to increase a drug smuggling into the United States of America? Some of them, they understand. Some of them, they understand. You sound started muffling. Is that better? Test, test, test. Is that better? Testing, testing, testing. Is that better? Test, 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 testing. Okay, this says it's better. Oh, so do the migrants understand that they're contributing to increase in drug smuggling into the United States? It's not that they don't understand or they understand. It is that first and foremost, who's incentivizing this and who is creating this to be in normalization? Also, when you give out money to the NGOs, you're practically giving them the funneling still of contingency of this travesty. Instead of helping the country directly, you're helping NGOs. Now, number one. Number two, it has become so exacerbated and so mishandled that now the only outlet for help for educational purposes on how to get to one country to another, it is the organized crime. That talks in volumes on how sadly the governments of every country which they're migrating are contributing to control and to also create a safe pathway and a safe process for migration. It talks to you about the irresponsibility of every government and if these governments are in cahoots with the organized crime. And if they are, this is why they are letting this pass. And this is why they are practically letting this to be a normalization of migration. So when you understand why the organized crime doesn't get stopped, why the organized crime, why the traffickers don't get stopped, why the traffickers in the Darien Gap, why they don't get stopped, why this continuancy through the Darien Gap, where's the United Nations, stepping in and saying, through here not, let me help you over here. Where are their governments? This is where you understand that they're in cahoots, every single one. It is not the migrants are contributing, it is the governments that are contributing this to continue. And it's the loopholes of every immigration law of every country that is habilitating these traffickers to continue. So their own governments, if they stop this, you will understand that the traffickers will decrease and then there will be sanctions, tough sanctions to trafficker of humans and abusive traffickers of human and kids and children. This will decrease. It's not that they're contributing, it is the own governments of our own countries that they're habilitating and they're the ones that contributing for this lawlessness and godlessness to continue in our borders. One more question. They're desperate or taking advantage. Either way, I hope they can see. I don't agree with that. Oscar, what were you reporting in your Spanish podcast earlier? Audio is fine. Exactly, I was explaining what it was happening right now, and ultimately what it was actually occurring right now in the south of the border. That was the question. Question right here. Why did the president of Mexico work with Trump when he was in office to go after the cartel? Donald Trump had a way to handle things. And the only way that he had to handle things is to basically hit them in the pockets. And that is a, I'm sorry, but that is a way that you will make another country learn. These dirty politicians and crooked politicians, the only way that they can understand is to hit them in the pocket. So Donald Trump said, I'm going to put a tariff on you, a threat of a tariff, if you don't fix this. And also we'll put a sanction. So immediately it got fixed like this. It is not that they had a great relationship. It is not that you were my friend and high five and let me call you late at night to give you a word of advice. No, remember what Donald Trump said, hey, let me help you with the cartels. You cannot even handle your own country. Let me help you out for a little bit. And AMLO said, I don't need help. What the hell you're talking about is anti-constitutional, which it is anti-constitutional. No other government can come in and help us to fix our problems. But ultimately, if a president is telling you, hey, let me help you, it's because something bad is happening and something really bad is being mishandled in your country. So what he did was put a sanction, and then like this, it got fixed. It decreased a lot of population, but it was in agreement with that. I don't agree on some policies that they were put, but that to put a tariff on a country to say, you know what, I'm gonna hit you in the pockets where you're not doing your job. Go ahead and hit them in the pockets. They will understand immediately, and they will bring security to the country of Mexico, and ultimately they will help a lot of migrants for not dying, not risking their lives, and not losing their children. Another question right here. Uh, Buy me a coffee is on the bottom link. If you guys like to contribute to independent reporting and travel fund, buy me a coffee is in the bottom link. USA borders, a question over here. USA borders, USA border agents helping? Question mark. I don't like to signalize directly an entity or an identity of a government without having proof in my hands. The only thing that I can tell you is that it's as Mexico has corrupt officials in their own dependencies and governmental dependencies, as the United States has exactly the same. We can only say that, and it is a reality, and it is proven. Cindy Chavez, ask her, did you get my cups of coffee that I bought for you? Thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless your dear heart. God bless you. Thank you. I send you a big hug. Who are the NGOs that are helping these immigrants? A lot of them, they're in the United States. A lot of them, and you can do your own research and find out which are the ones that they are habilitating this to continue. There's ones that they're helping in the desert, and they're just creating a funneling. I was having a conversation with the migrants right now about this, and looking how we understood each other. Look how we understood each other. So they're saying, oh, the United Nations only helps in Panama. Why they're not helping in other countries? And I said to them, don't you think that that is a bait for you? And they said, why you say that, Oscar? And I had like a bunch of people. I had like 50 migrants surrounding me. And I said, we're going to talk, but we're going to talk straight up. And I have been doing this for the past 3 to 4 trips. I have been responding to them saying, no, you're wrong. This is the way it's supposed to be. So I asked them, do you think that that station, particularly in Panama, is bait? And they say, why you say that is bait? They're helping us. Why they're helping you before you enter the Darien Gap or inside of the jungle? Why they're not helping you before you exit your country? Why they're not there to help you and educate you on a process to say these are the countries that you can migrate, and this is the process that you can do, and this is how the immigration system works, and this is how ultimately also you're going to suffer the consequences in Mexico. So I will say that is bait, I told them. Why is bait? Because as soon as you step out of Venezuela, you are going to know that kilometers away there is going to be a camp where the United Nations is right there. So you're going to say, oh, we have a camp right there, and halfway, somebody's going to help us and somebody's going to guide us to you to continue walking, to continue risking your life, to continue paying these people that they're abusing humanitarian life, and also guide you to another dangerous place and another dangerous place and another dangerous place. What is the Darien Gap? Go and investigate, Mr. Mike Skywatcher. It is the jungle, and it is the most difficult place for migrants to migrate. It is bait, and it's exactly where it's happening in Arizona. These people, they say they're helping them, right? These people, they say they're helping them. And when you say you're helping them by dropping water in the middle of the desert and you're creating piles where you're dropping water, you know what you're doing, right? You're making them risk their lives by walking on the desert, and you're creating bait as you're making them think to the coyote, to the smuggler, or to the migrant that is desperately walking in Arizona, and they already found the route to get to that particular site where there's water dropped off. I'm not saying it is bad. I'm not saying I'm against people drinking water in the desert when they're running away from fear. I'm not saying that. But that is not the correct way to migrate. Why are you dropping off water in the middle of the desert when you're creating an idea for a person to walk 2 kilometers under the heat and exhaustion, and to make them think miles or kilometers away? We need to hold ourselves right now. We need to be strong for a few kilometers so we can get to the next kilometer where there's going to be water, and we can get some water in that pile. And not only that, after that, we can go to another location and there's going to be another water pile right there. It is exactly what they're doing with the United Nations in Panama. Oh, they have a camp in Panama. They're helping us in Panama. But why the United Nations is not there in front, where you're coming out and saying, hey, you know what? This is the process. We can help you at Canada. We can help you in Spain. We can help you in Italy. We can help you in Europe. And the process to the United States is this. Why they're not stopping you from crossing through the Darien Gap and risking your lives? Why these NGOs are not going directly to where they're entering to an irregular port of entry that is an open border wall? Why? Why? They're not going directly to that point. Why they go all the way to the middle of the desert and drop water off? And and you cannot. It is inhuman. I'm really humanitarian. A lot of people saying, oh, destroy the water piles, Oscar. Destroy the water piles and destroy the bags. I will not dare myself to do that. I'm not that. I have a conscience in my heart and in my mind. I really do. I will not do that. But I will say, you know what, this is not the correct way. Why are you dropping off water right here when you're telling them, you know what, it's okay to walk all the way to this pile of water? It is located right here, kilometers away from that. That is not okay. But I will not do such a thing to be like, this I'm going to destroy it so they will not understand. That's no. I prefer to say through the authorities, Fix the problem. Fix the problem at the border. Fix the problem so people will not migrate through dangerous places and dangerous pathways. I'm a pro migrant myself. People need to understand that I'm a migrant myself. So I'm not going against, the effect of migration. Correct migration, documented migration, regular migration, peaceful migration. It is the way that we need to resolve this and close the loopholes that these leftist organizations are taking advantage of. And now it's not the leftist loopholes that are only taking advantage of these organizations. It is also the organized crime. They're well prepared. They know the American law. They already know how it works. They already know where they can take advantage. It is work. They're being well educated now. They know how to break the law. So sadly, the immigration law of the United States of America has habilitated this to basically continue. It is not the way. I told them this is not the way, or you support that. You support the United Nations in the middle of the jungle so you can continue walking, so you can continue suffering, so you can continue risking your life instead of helping you in the limit lines between you and your country and say, you know what, this is the correct way. This is the way we have to do it. The governments are not helping because they're in cahoots with these globalist open border agenda. They're in cahoots with every single thing that is continuing and this that is happening. You cannot put people at risk. You cannot risk people's lives anymore. This is modern day slavery. You cannot be doing that. You cannot be using migrants as currency. This is so sad that you're using children, using families as currency. Where do we forget to be human? I understand that this is a massive influx. I understand that. Really, I do. But we need to understand that this is modern day slavery and it is bad. It is really bad what is happening. Whitney, thank you so much for the coffees. Thank you so much. Uh, thank you so much. I want to ask you a question, and this is a rhetorical question. It's a rhetorical question to Miss Sherry Peterson. These migrants need leadership to stay in their home countries and focus on changing their own countries instead of America. I want you to tell me how. I will wait for you to answer me. I want you to tell me how they can fight for their countries. Tell me how. You mean manipulate laws? That's exactly what I just said. You want me to put it in other terms? Yes. How they can do that. Nayib Bukele is a good leader. Yes, he is a good leader. And a lot of people from El Salvador are not migrating. The country is getting better. But how they can, if they live under a dictatorship, like in Venezuela under Nicolás Maduro, Nicaragua under a dictatorship of Ortega, Cuba under a dictatorship of Nicolás of Diaz-Canel, tell me how they can fight with what? If these global corporations, economical global corporations, they're the ones that they control the market and the economy on a foreign country, and they're paying cheap man labor, horrible pay. Their economical infrastructure is completely destroyed. Sri Lanka did it and had no guns. What Sri Lanka just accomplished? Tell me. Because if you're talking about a viral video of them going inside of the governmental palace, tell me what has happened after that. Is it fixed? Also, Cuba just did it, and look what happened to them. A lot of them, they were in prison. A lot of them, they got assassinated. Tell me how they're going to fight, like in Cuba. Tell me how. And I'm not saying, well, you're saying that the United States is the one that's supposed to fix their problems. Don't start with your pandering. I'm not saying that. Tell me just how they're supposed to do that. Venezuela has been protesting for the past 10 years consistently, millions of people outside of the streets, and a lot of them have been assassinated because the only thing that they have is a stick and rocks. In Cuba, The only thing that they had was rocks, sticks, and a lot of them were carrying pencils. Tell me how. I'm not saying the United States is the one that is supposed to be responsible for the problem. No, 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 no. Just tell me, explain me how. Alice, thank you so much for the copies. Thank you so much, Alice. How? You know how? These dictators, they need to be pushed by leaders of the world out. These leftist communists, they need to be pushed out so the market and global corporations can release and be fair to Latin American countries. You know, these Walmarts, these Costco's, these Home Depots, these Cars Juniors, these Jack in the Box, all these global American corporate America and also global corporations, they need to be more fair with their salary cap and more fair with their expansion of capitalism of other countries. You cannot buy it's unfair to buy a coffee in Starbucks at $6 and sell it at $6 in Mexico when you're paying 170 pesos as a cheap man labor per day. That is around $6 per day. You're taking advantage of that. Expand it. Be fair. First and foremost, be fair with external capitalism. Second of all, let leaders of their country take over, not their country, but these leaders of their country interfere to say, what do you need help? How can I invest on your country to bring trade, not aid? To bring trade, not aid. And these global corporations, that they're the ones that they are taxing, they're the ones that they are taking advantage of the cheap man labor. They're the ones that they're making the billions. They're the ones that they control the banks. They're the ones that they need to be taxed, not the American taxpayer, not the Mexican taxpayer, not the Guatemala taxpayer, the Salvador taxpayer, Honduras taxpayer. These global corporations, they don't even pay taxes. They don't even pay taxes. A lot of them. But you're the one that is getting taxed on gasoline. You're the one that is getting taxed consistently on inflation. You're the ones that are getting taxed consistently. Mexicans getting taxed. Guatemala people getting taxed. And it's getting impossible to live. Impossible. Look what is happening. And look what is happening to Californians. Californians are migrating to Mexico now because it is impossible to live in the United States of America. In California, the prices are so high. Arthur, thank you so much for the copies. The prices are so high in California that they cannot even live over there. So they had to migrate to an unsafe city like Tijuana, my city that I love, that is so bad on insecurity, on assassinations, and ultimately it is insecure on infrastructure, but they prefer to risk that to be paying $2,000 a month for rent. Look, it is not only affecting the inflation of your country, it's affecting our inflation, it's affecting the whole continent. The whole continent, I have said this before and I've been saying this. I've been saying this for 2 years now. 2 years now I've been saying this. 2 years. The continent of America, it is under globalist, leftist, communist attack. I have said this. I have said this before. And it is a reality. It is a reality. We are under global leftist communist attack. They want to force us. They want to force us into be something that we are forced to live by. They're forcing us to depend on electricity, on water, on things that we need to provide to survive. To survive. I don't agree with your comment, Estela Bustillos. Welcome to our platform, but I don't agree with certain vocabulary they're using on that comment. So I will skip that question, and it is too long also, but I respect you. Thank you so much for joining. Don't Americans need permission from the Mexican government to move there? No. That is another problem, Lucinda. A lot of Americans that they're living in Mexico, they're undocumented. It has happened for the longest time. Welcome to our world also. Now you guys say. The Mexican government has never put a process for illegal documentation for Americans to come over to Mexico. They only show, you know, a passport and they can stay as much as they can and they can walk back as much as they can and they can come back, but they have never done anything because they're bringing the almighty dollar. The almighty dollar they're bringing. So when they're doing that, it brings economy, supposedly. And now if they have done social economical studies in our city, and ultimately when they have done it, they know that the predominant currency is the dollar. So now our currency, that is the peso, is getting overwhelmed by the dollar. So that causes an inflation of our rent, of our prices, of our living. So now the dollar is inflating our economy in Mexico. Now the rent in Mexico is not in pesos, it's in dollars. The cost of some products are in dollars. Gas prices are going up because Americans are coming to Mexico to pay for more for gas. A lot of the products are going up. It is what it is. Somebody is commentating on Instagram, and I don't want to argue really. Capitalism isn't the same as corporatism. I don't agree with that. And I'm not going to elaborate. Really, I have elaborated so much on that. I don't agree with it. Really, I'm sorry. Corporations are ones that are bringing jobs. Bringing jobs, it means that you're creating capitalist jobs. Capitalist jobs that they have a salary cap. These salary cap, it is just modern day slavery also. A lot of them, they're creating this salary cap that is just, you're not going to grow from here, and that is it. And the housing around those manufacturing companies, they are ultimately just to allow you to pay with what you make on those factories. This is a long explanation, and I really don't want to get into it. Huck, thank you so much, Huck, for the copies. Thank you so much. Just being fair. Just being fair. It's good to agree to disagree. That's why we have freedom of speech. You have it on your constitution. I have it on my constitution. It is a few, but we're dialogue. We're having a dialogue. We're not leftist liberals that we scream at each other and we insult each other and we start saying you're censoring me, Oscar. You're censoring me. Hell out of here with that. I'm not here to just pander. You're down there in Mexico watching all this. Why don't you talk to Mexican authorities and tell them? Why don't you talk? Why don't you tell them? Why don't you stop them? I'm not an authority. I'm not an authority, man. First of all, I'm not an authority. I'm a journalist. I'm a reporter. That's activism. I'm not an authority. Uh, this is what you, this, let me say, while you're down there in Mexico watching all of this, why don't you talk to the Mexican authorities and tell them to stop allowing these people to cross through their country and ours instead of standing in the line in the country to get into ours? I'm not an authority, man. Those are the jobs of the authorities. And first and foremost, who's the country that is incentivizing this mass migration? Let me ask you that. I'm not going to get heated with the question, but I'm just asking you that. Who's the country and who's the government that is incentivizing the mass migration in the whole continent? I will let you think and I will let you digest this question. It is not a rhetorical question. I'm asking you and I'm giving you the time of my day. I'm asking you this question. Who is the country that is incentivizing this mass migration and open border agenda and open border ideology? Just tell me that. And when you tell me that, I am going to tell you exactly, why don't you go to the border then? I'm asking you a question and I will wait. Somebody saying if you're asking that, you are blind. I'm sorry. I'm seeing and I've been watching this for the longest time. I'm asking it because somebody else is just giving me the ability to ask that. for them to make them understand how is this whole situation. You don't ask a question on top of the question. This is not a question contest. So when you answer yourself that question, you will understand how this global agenda that it has been repeatedly said, even the Pope, even the Catholic Church, even certain leaders of the world, they use the linguistics that is global, the global corporations, global this, global that. Holy cow. Oh, sorry. No, I'm replying to Bet, not you. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm sorry. Sorry. Questions in Instagram. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much. We're going on an hour of the show. Q&A. Buy me a coffee is on the top, on the bottom link, top link, bottom link. I don't even know where buy me a coffee is. First and foremost, I would like, before I go, I would like for you guys to give a round of applause to my manager and my moderator, who is doing a phenomenal and excellent job. So give it a round of applause for my moderator and for my manager, who is doing exacerbated uh, quantities of editing of videos. So, and also, pin on the chat. Thank you. How many times you have said that to me, man? And it's funny now, man. We're going on how many years working together, manager? How many times? And you have sent that so many times. I think that you get exhausted. Buy me a coffee. It is pinned on the chat. It is so easy. It is so easy, for God's sake. It is not pinned on the bottom. It is not pinned at the top. It's pinned on the chat. Next time, moderators, also my mods and hammers in YouTube. I want to say thank you to all of you, man. My angels also. You guys know who you are. Thank you so much. Your undeniable support and love. It is just unconditional. Thank you. Let me just say right here a comment. Are you still training for your boxing career? I'm training, and I lost a lot of weight, as you guys can see. I lost a lot of weight. I lost around 20 kilos, 20.8 kilos. I lost a lot of weight, and I'm happy about it. You know, I'm exercising. I'm doing every day. I'm eating well. I'm eating 2 meals a day. I'm doing the one diet that I used to do that you stop eating at 7:30 in the evening, and you just drink a lot of water. But that's a diet that I used to do, and you get your body accustomed to that. You can eat fruit, you can eat all this kind of stuff, but hard food, meats and all that, you stop eating around at one time, and it helps me a lot. You eat good breakfast, you interfere, you do interlapses doing your breakfast, and also when you're going to have your lunch, you eat your lunch, you do interlapses until you hit to 7:30, and that's it. Protein shakes, protein bars, fruits, a lot of green apple. I eat a lot of green apple, and also some grapes sometimes. I like that. So uh, yes, I've been training. So okay, one more question. Well, there's a crisis at the border. AMLO puts musical videos on his morning show. The show for entertainment. Yes, Strong Towerman says, while there is a crisis at the border, AMLO puts musical videos on his morning clown show for his entertainment. Yes, I don't watch him for health. I don't watch him for health, just because of health. I prefer to keep my health, my mental health. I really do not watch him. And I learned that phrase of Juan Blanco, another great journalist over here inside of the border. He told me, I don't watch him to keep my because if I watch him, I will risk my health. I really don't want to watch him. I really do not want to watch him. It's so annoying to just wait for him to finish a phrase. It's just so damn annoying. And it is to hear a leftist communist, to hear him speak, it's just annoying. It's just not only annoying, it's painful because you're actually watching how a man is not being stopped, and deliberately he's ruining lives, and in addition to that he's risking lives. So sad. And we're continuing as Latinos, We're continuing to trust these leftist governments as Colombia has done, and trust now Petro, that he's a radical, leftist, radical communist. And you're going to see that in Colombia. It's already affecting the economy, it's already affecting the dollar and the economy in Colombia. It's already affecting it. Guess so, GA, thank you for the copies. Thank you so much. It is pinned on the chat. Buy me a copy is pinned on the chat. You're already seeing that, how the economy is being affected in Colombia. Oscar, have you ever been on Tucker Carlson? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. They have shared my work, I believe, on Tucker Carlson and on Fox News. They have shared my work, thanks to Mr. Griff Jenkins, that he is one of the best journalists covering all issues. I respect him so much, and also he's a surfer. I love Griff, man. He's a great guy. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for joining on the chat on Instagram. God bless you all. We're going to go and rest. We haven't rest, on this long week. We have been sleeping. Every time that I come over here, I sleep only 2 to 3 hours. The thing is, it's something we sometimes. Let me explain to you a little bit what we do. We wake up early in the morning to keep guard of if something happens, and we basically, if something happens, we go in there and we record. And we wake up really early in the morning. We go to the place that we got to go. We record really early in the morning, and we only sleep around 3 hours. Is the must that we do, 3 to 4 hours. And it's really exhausted because you're working under the heat, you're working under humidity, and also the dangers that you expose yourself with infections and all this kind of stuff. So it's been a long week. It's been a long week from Monday to Friday. Today we're finishing our job, and we are trying to do more coverage, as next week is going to be strong. Next week is going to be a strong week, so we're going to do as best that we can. Follow Real America's Voice News. Where is it? Right here. Our beautiful network, Real America's Voice News. Download the app at realamericasvoicenews.com. It is free. You can watch it at Roku, Hulu, DirecTV, and also all social media platforms. Dr. Gina Primetime, Steve Bannon in the War Room, Mr. Steve Gruber, Chris Carter in the morning. All these people, they're fantastic, fantastic journalists and also fantastic individuals. But thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. Have a great night. Somebody's asking, where am I at? I am at the Tapachula border next to Guatemala. This is our 14th trip to this south of the border. 14th. Uh, Come so many times over here. I know this town now. So thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. Stay safe. And like we always say, peoples, peace and love, because always your country's first. God bless.